Art as a philosophical entree. Supposedly, everything is connected and apparently everything matters. Nevertheless, this pseudo-perfection and balanced state of things becomes highly suspicious. At least to me. Our scientists think they know the existing laws of physics. They are confident they have discovered them all. But is that all there is? I mean, there was a time when they believed our Milky Way galaxy was the entire universe, until the invention of more powerful telescopes proved them wrong. They were humbled into submission to discover that not only was our galaxy not the universe, but that it was only one minuscule fraction of a fraction of a fraction of it. It was a crumb in an ocean. Imagine that. They couldn't have been more wrong, could they? Soon I wager a mind keener than Einstein's will come along and reveal many more exotic laws of physics that will humble the scientists into submission once more. Now, if we know so little of what we think we know, how must it be for art? What do we really know about this phenomenon? We have pseudo-knowledge about it, that is all. Do we have facts, or are we spinning assumptions in our minds that suit us and call them facts? There must be thousands of books about art theory, yet no one can claim full comprehension of them. Why? Is there something in art which eludes us? Art is always spoken of in abstract terms and dictums to sound convincing that it couldn't be any other way. Is it like water? You try to hold it in your hand, but there's nothing there. Then there's the possibility that art is an unknown prescription in the mind. Or dare we say philosophy? Could it evoke such a way of thinking? If this be true, it is no wonder we experience its awesome complexity in the kaleidoscopic variety it expresses itself. It becomes an enigma with an unsolved mystery. It becomes so tantalizing that we're always talking about it. And we become blue in the face, only to hear it laughing at us, trying to understand it. It teases us, doesn't it? Now, philosophy is an abstract exercise of the mind. In a way, it dictates a certain way of thinking about reality. There are various philosophies looking at life so many ways. If that be true, philosophy is a way of seeing life, then art must be a form of philosophy. It certainly has its way about it. In expressing itself, it philosophizes, does it not? In other words, it has an opinion. Art has a way of communicating neutral expressions, and its truisms are universal. From that point of view, it is a philosophy of generalities, yet detailed preferences. It is neutral, yet points fingers and brings your attention to certain truths that cannot be ignored. Art is always interested to get to the heart of the matter, where the meaning lies. Unless it is decorative art, it does not play games. Its philosophy is precise and to the point. It dares us to search it out. It says, there is a truth here, find it. But what truth is it talking about? Are there not as many truths as are realities? Mark me when I say, there are as many realities as there are breathing creatures on this earth. That includes atoms to man and everything in between. Think of it. Is your reality the same as a worm's? Could it be? Every living entity here and in the rest of the universe experiences a reality unlike any other. Reality is a foil that wraps around a living entity to give it a life. This life is based on the personality of that person or thing. And we all know that every personality is different from every other personality, whether it be a man's or a gnat's. Even the uncountable atoms, having slightly different realities from each other, experience life differently. No one thing has the same fate. With so many realities to contend with, and so many truths to match them, think now upon the complexity of the world we live in, and you will become paralyzed in awe. Art has its own reality. It exists by the laws of physics like everything else, yet its reality is recognizable from afar. We recognize a piece of art as distinct from any other activity. Art tends to salvage meaningless things and give them meaning. It gathers failures and transforms them into successes. It brings the least important to the front of the class. It pays homage to forgotten things. It points a spotlight to abandoned ideas. Art saves what would have been lost. It keeps loneliness company. It expresses opinions precisely where opinions are not allowed. It challenges the status quo and upsets the apple cart wherever it goes. It brushes against death but never dies. It persists through cracks and fissures, and nothing can keep it at bay. The philosophy of art is necessarily a philosophy which adapts to every artist's reality. What it will say and how it will say it is always determined by the artist who is using it at the time. That is what makes it such an exciting entity. Each time it rears its beautiful head, it will be speaking a different language about diverse issues, describing limitless matters. How rich. How awesome is this? What an elegant portico art stands on. With what precision it operates on life, like a surgeon with a mathematical equation at the tips of his fingers, working on miracles. It itself is a miracle. The complexity of the mind has something of the universe about it. Its convolutions are beyond our understanding. It is for this I will try to unravel this tight spool of complexity, not only to understand it, but to discover its fundamental meaning. Forgive me if I fail. It will not be for lack of trying. When an artist begins to create a work of art, an ancient liturgical rite begins. An initiation is set in motion. It is initiation with the elements. Every time is involved. There's a space is bent, and the creation begins. What makes this happen is the intention of the artist, of course. It is a particularly important moment where we intend to do something. Whatever that may be, it will happen because we intend it and because we are committed to it. But it will not happen, even if we say we want it, if our heart isn't into it. Our heart is right up there with the seriousness of our intent. Aside. This is an aside. It was not for lack of knowledge the ancient Egyptians removed the precious brain in mummification, but allowed the heart to remain in the body. They knew something about the heart we are all only just now beginning to understand. The heart contains a small second brain. It is here they believed the psyche dwelled. It was from the heart that the human being became human and not animal. All beliefs, all ideas, commitments, and intentions sprang from the heart.